It starts with the fillet of beef. It's so tender. Go and get yourself about 1.2, 1.3 kilos worth. Get your butcher to trim it up. This will easily serve 8 people. Give it a nice pinch of sea salt, a little bit of pepper. Rosemary and beef are the best friends in the whole wide world. Sprinkle that on the board so there's an even covering, and then get that lovely fillet of beef, give it a little press, and that's how you get a really nice, even seasoning. Add a lug of olive oil, a knob of butter, and a sprig of rosemary to a pan on a high heat. Then brown the fillet all over for 4 minutes. Let's start the chicken liver and mushroom pate. It's really simple. Replace the fat in your beef pan with some fresh olive oil and butter. Go in with 2 cloves of garlic, 2 sprigs of rosemary, a chopped red onion, and a pinch of salt. Look at these mushrooms, absolutely beautiful. 600 grams I'm using. Break them up with your hand. Put your mushrooms into the pan with the onion and garlic and cook down for 15 minutes until softened. Then add 100 grams of chicken livers, a dash of Worcestershire sauce, plus a capful of truffle oil. Cook for 3 or 4 minutes, then tip it all onto a board. Oh, the smell is phenomenal. And you can cut this to any texture you want. I am quite happy with that. I'm just gonna go in with a nice big handful of dry breadcrumbs, and that will soak up some of those lovely resting juices from the meat. Next, the puff pastry, but make sure you get a good quality all butter one. I want it to be about the size of a tea towel, about 30 centimetres by 40 centimetres. Keep turning it. Spread the mushroom and chicken liver pate over the pastry, leaving a space around the edges to make it all stick together. Paint a little bit of beaten egg onto the exposed bits of pastry. And roll it up like this. Keep it tight, snug, and then just roll it over again until it's firm. Pinch that edge and push it down. Squash the ends with a fork, dipped in flour, then glaze the whole Wellington with egg wash. And to prevent a soggy bottom, I'm going to give it a 2-minute blast on the hob before it goes in to cook. Get that in the oven at 210 degrees Celsius for exactly 40 minutes. Put it on the bottom of the oven. I can feel it's nice and crisp, which is lovely. The colours are amazing. After resting the meat for 5 minutes, I'm ready to serve. Beautiful. Let's load it up with some nice greens and then the gravy. Very exciting. Beef fillet has rested into that mushroom and it's all kind of cooked into each other. There's a real harmony there. That is so good. Hi guys, hope you're well. We're gonna make roast beef. People love it and I love it. It's a wonderful treat. I'm gonna show you how to prepare this, do the trivet, we're gonna cook it, we're gonna rest it, and we're gonna carve it, and it's gonna be absolutely amazing. I've got 3 cuts of beef here that are very, very common. I've got the top side of beef, that's the most affordable and it's leaner. We've got the sirloin of beef here. Now you know the sirloin steak, but this is a chunk to roast. It's easy to carve, quicker to cook, and it's always tender. And then roast 4 rib of beef. It will easily serve 10 people, and the leftovers of all of this is amazing. So the preparation is the same for all 3 cuts. Top side of beef I'm gonna do. And what's really important is get your meat out of the fridge 1 hour before you wanna cook it. And that way it will stay juicier and more tender. Give it a little drizzle with some olive oil. Give it a nice little rub up. And then I wanna season it quite generously with salt and pepper. Rub it over and just roll the meat all over the seasoning. Put a little oil into a tray. Let's get that on a high heat. And first of all, I just wanna get some color on this beef and start to sear it. Now what you'll notice is the top side is very lean. But if we look at the sirloin and the forerib, I wouldn't have to add oil to that. I would score the fat like this, and I will place it fat side down in a pan and render the beef fat. Once you feel you've got a little bit of color, get some tongs and turn it over. Now while this is browning off, I want to make a trivet. Just clank up some celery, about half a celery, 1 onion, a whole bulb of garlic, and then 2 carrots, just cut into big chunks. And then herb-wise, I love using a few bay leaves and some rosemary. All of this goes in. Now this trivet is going to do 2 things. First of all, it soaks up all the juices from the beef and it creates the basis for the most incredible gravy or jus to go with your roast beef. Secondly, you can see you put the beef on top, so that way it's not frying on the bottom of the tray. This top side of beef is going to go straight into the oven at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, for an hour and a quarter. So for all the cooking times for the beef or any other cut of meat, then just click over to jamieoliver.com and I've got a whole load of stuff that will support you get it absolutely right every single time. So look at that, really beautiful. Let it rest for half an hour. If it's an even bigger cut of meat, let it go 40 minutes, 45 minutes. When you're roasting meats or even grilling meats, you know, that heat is pushing the moisture into the middle, right? So you need to let it rest just so the moisture comes back, right? So it's juicier and more tender. And it just lets it get to a better temperature. Have a look in this tray. All of this love is going to be the basis of your gravy. Put it onto a high heat, add some flour. A heaped tablespoon will go in, so we get a nice thick gravy. Then just squeeze all the beautiful garlic out of the skins. I can mush up the onions. I'm going to use a little red wine, just a little half glass. Goes in, roast beef, red wine. It makes sense, right? The smell is absolutely amazing. The little secret ingredient that I love is just some beautiful jam. That little sweetness really helps the gravy sing really, really nicely. About a litre of stock goes in. Bring this to the boil and then simmer this for about half an hour, the same time you rest the meat, and it's going to be delicious. In the half an hour that it's taken for the beef to rest, lots of beautiful things happen. If you see in our little platter here, you get juices that come out. You put those juices into your gravy. Pour that gravy through a coarse sieve. Look how gorgeous and thick and wonderful that gravy is. One little tip on the gravy, if you just pull it to the side of the gas hob, as it boils, it will push any kind of fatty bits or any scummy bits to one side, and you can get rid of that. And we've got lovely boiling gravy. Then let's talk about the meat. Now, when it comes to the carving, you know, with a sirloin or a forerib, it's very, very tender. You know, with a top side, it will be tender, but it is a little bit leaner, so we want to go nice and fine. You need to invest in a nice, long carving knife. So get the carving knife and do nice, long strokes. Go as thin as you can. So you can see this beef is nice, juicy, and blushing. If you cook it 15 minutes less, you can go medium rare. This is medium. Look at that. What a joy. Absolutely beautiful. And of course, no roast is finished without roast potatoes and Yorkshire puddings. This is the kind of food that just makes you so happy. I've got some horseradish sauce, which is one of my favorites. Beautiful. And then hot gravy, gorgeous, dark, rich gravy. So good. It's not right unless you fill up the Yorkshire pudding with gravy. Come on. So look at that, guys. The most incredible roast beef with all the trimmings. If you want the recipes for the Yorkshire puddings, the perfect roast potato, the horseradish, then go to jamieoliver.com where the recipes are and thousands more. There you go, guys. Fill your boots and get cooking. I'm gonna wow my guests with a Christmas twist on a classic beef bourguignon. A beautiful, tender, rich, herby beef stew, perfect for this time of year. We're taking this beef bourguignon to new heights. We need to start by marinating these. So I'm gonna chop it into like 5 centimetre chunks. This is 1.5 kilos of beef cheeks. We're gonna go in with a bottle of beautiful French Burgundy. The acidity in that wine very gently starts to flavour the beef. 4 or 5 lovely bay leaves goes in. I've got some rosemary in there, a little bit of thyme as well. 4 or 5 cloves of garlic, 4 sticks of celery. Then I'm gonna get some carrots. We've got 1 onion, roughly chopped. I'm gonna season very generously with black pepper. Then I want just a little pinch of ground cloves, the taste of Christmas. A couple of teaspoons of Dijon mustard. It's not classic, but it's Christmas, guys. I am gonna mix it up with my hands, gently, gently. Don't get my shirt. Cover that in some greaseproof paper. Then tomorrow, I'm gonna make the most amazing stew out of that. That red wine has already penetrated the meat. Look how it's changed the color. So into a colander, then with the meat, what I wanna do is get that into some flour. So just regular plain flour onto a nice little tray or a platter like this. I'm gonna add just a little knob of butter and a little bit of olive oil. And the combination together means you can go to a slightly higher temperature but still get that gorgeous flavour and golden crispy outside. So as this is frying beautifully and getting golden, we're going to slowly fry off all of these veggies. One of the things that I love to do to make it even more Christmassy, that's not classic for sure, is chestnuts. Look at these. They have that amazing sort of sweetness and nuttiness, and just crumbling them in your hand will just add to that gravy. At this point in time, add the red wine. This goes into the stock pot, and just top this up with some boiling water or some stock, just enough to cover the beef. And that will now slow cook for about 4 hours at 150 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to get this in the oven and get this cooking. We're at that point now where the whole thing's coming together. Just have a little look how shiny that is. Let's just see how tender it is. Look at that falling apart. That is the thing about the cheek. Oh, yeah. So look at that. Beautiful, chunky, shiny beef bourguignon. My dad is going to absolutely love that. Guys, we got a little bit of beef bourguignon here. Everyone help yourself.
It's so nice.
Happy Christmas, you lovely food tubers. Mr. Oliver here in a beautifully festive fashion. We're going to do a beautiful dish. Sticky, delicious beef short ribs with mashed potato, winter slaw. The flavour is maximum. This is a showstopper. So I've got 2 beef short ribs right here. You know, it's from the forequarter of the beef. That's the bone marrow. That's kind of like the most incredible, intense sort of stock cube ever. So get your ribs into a pan, season it with some salt and a really generous seasoning of pepper. A little bit of olive oil just to get it going. This cut of meat is tough, so you need to rehydrate the tendons so they just break up and become delicious and sticky. So what I want to do is have a closed environment. So I'm going to get a nice long sheet of tin foil, double wrap, and then we're going to whack this in the oven for about 8 hours until nice and tender at 100 degrees Celsius. I'll see you in 8 hours. Oh, that 8 hours went quick, and I'm still in this jumper. Check this out. The meat has kind of shrunk back off the bones. I feel like this is a meal from the Flintstones. Wilma! It's very cool. You've got the most incredible, like, roast beef juice. It tastes amazing. Pour that into a little cup here. Can you see it separating? You know, we don't want this fat in our story, but we want to save that fat for a rainy day. A little will go a long way flavour-wise. So this in the fridge, super important tip. Then we got the lovely stock, and we're going to go back into our tray. So get your pan on full whack. Go in with about 180 millilitres of ketchup, 150 mils of dark stout, 4 teaspoons of mustard, 4 teaspoons of malt vinegar, 4 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. And last but not least, golden syrup, 4 teaspoons of that. Oh yes. And we're just going to boil this up until it's a lovely, sticky, glazy British barbecue sauce. So I'm pretty happy with that. So we'll turn that heat off, put it over the top, in and around. All I need to do now is pop this back in the oven, keep it at the same temperature, 100 degrees, 20 minutes to 40 minutes is fine. Next up, let's do a beautiful winter coleslaw. But if you'll forgive me, next time you see me, I won't have a jumper because I'm really, really hot. Woo! Okay, that's a little bit cooler. Thank the Lord for that. Okay, so hot pan. I've got some caraway seeds here. Just a nice heaped teaspoon and just toast them up. Get them a little bit smoky. I want 2 heaped tablespoons of mayo going into a bowl. About 1 heaped tablespoon or 2 of yogurt. A heaped teaspoon of English mustard. Season it lightly. And I'm just going to finely chop some herbs. I'm using dill because I just love it. And then 1.5 tablespoons of white wine vinegar. We want it to be nicely acidic. Mix that up. These caraway seeds will just add a sort of surprise and toastiness into this dressing. So look, let's have a little taste. Oh, it's good. A little tip. Take some pickled onions and a little bit of the vinegar just to tweak that acidity so it's sharp and fresh. Finely chop those pickled onions. Over here, I've got lovely seasonal veg, guys. Use anything that you're passionate about. So I've got some nice yellow beetroots here. Finely slice these up. Then I've got white cabbage. I'm just gonna add it. I've got some kales. So good for you. So let's get that in there. It looks like a lot of volume, but it will sink. Then we've got some lovely carrots here. Beet leaves. So I'm gonna get all of this into here now. There's no polite way to do it. Just move it around, sort of squeeze it. And you can see this makes quite a lot. Let's serve this beautiful food up. If people come around your house for a dinner party and you've got this beautiful short rib dish, I honestly think they're gonna go wild for this dish. It's literally like cutting through butter. Look how tender that is. It's just melt in your mouth. Amazing. I'm serving it with regular mashed potato, a little bit of nutmeg and butter. Get some of that lovely winter slaw for that gorgeous, tender short rib to go on top. So there you go, look at that. Around Christmas, we all need a couple of great dishes that we can rely on to tick away in the oven, just getting better and better. These easy beef short ribs let the oven do all of the work. Slow cooked in beer gravy to give you all of the festive flavour with none of the fuss. It all happens in one pan, and we are going to use a fantastic cut of beef. Very economical. It's the short rib, very tough, but we're going to turn that tough into absolutely melt in your mouth. So get this pan on a medium-high heat, and let's get some dark golden colour on this beef. So as the fat renders out of the ribs of beef, let's start thinking about some flavour. So I've got carrots, and they're going to cook for the same amount of time as these ribs. So I'll keep them whole and just give them a little peel like that. So look, hello Conker. Ah, he knows that there's bones in the house. So don't be scared to give our ribs some hard heat. Look at that. We want to get colour on here because that's going to give you extra flavour. OK, next vegetable, celery. And cut about 12 centimetres up from the root. And that's the heart. This, for me, is the prized bit. And then the second most prized bit is the yellow leaves. Just get some cold water, in they go, and they will be perfect at the very end. Let's just show you how to prep the heart. In half, and then in quarters. With the stalks here, just finely slice these. They'll give you the most beautiful, fragrant flavour. I'm very happy with that colour. So, remove the rib now. Look at that. So before I put that back in there, we're going to go in with the carrots and the celery hearts. So we're going to get some colour on these and treat them a little bit like the meat. You can see in the pan here, we've got nice colour on the carrots. Look at that. Now we're going to go in with the chopped celery. So as these celery chunks soften, now we can add the onion marmalade. About half a jar goes in. The next one is walnuts, about 50 grams. They seem to kind of rehydrate and take on those flavours, and they're like real treats later on when you're eating it. So we get our seasoning in there, lots of pepper. That marmalade has given this whole thing an outrageously sticky form. So get yourself a nice bottle of beer, something you'd like to drink. All we do now is take our ribs, snuggle it in, and then I'll top it up with about 600 mils of water. Oh, look at that. It's going to be amazing. I could put a lid on top, but I'm going to use some greaseproof paper and make what our French neighbours would call a cartouche. So you just take a sheet of paper like this, fold it in half, and then fold it in half again. And we'll keep doing that, kind of like a weird little paper aeroplane. We go to the middle, and that is our cartouche. Now, the genius of this, instead of a lid that's very perfect, is we can put little cuts in this, And it's going to allow steam to escape, so you'll get that reduction in the sauce. So you get lovely sticky gravy, and it protects the ribs. So put your little hat on. The oven is at 160 degrees Celsius, which is 330 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to cook it for 4 hours. And now the oven does all the hard work, and then you can go do what you need to do. And at this time of year, there's lots to do. Conker, come on. Can't sleep all day. Conker, it's time, my friend. 4 hours have passed. Halfway through, by the way, I got it out and I just turned over all the ribs, gave it a little baste, and I put 6 jacket potatoes in, okay? So we got nice jacket potatoes, ready and raring to go. And let's just get these spuds. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so in here is going to be dark and mysterious. It's smelling amazing. We've got to be careful when we turn it now because it's... Look, look at the tenderness. Look at it, if I just pull a bit. So tender. Oh, the deep flavours are phenomenal. So what I want to do is just sieve off any excess fat. If you cook roast potatoes with this, or a stew or a bolognese, it's going to be utterly delicious. It's like supercharged flavour. What I love to do is put horseradish over this rib. And that just kind of finally seasons the sauce in the most beautiful way. So let's plate some up. We're going to have a nice jacket potato. Then we're going to go for a nice hunk of slow-cooked meat. Let's get some of those celery leaves. And then the hot gravy on the top, look. Beautiful. Let's get in there. I want to show you just how outrageously tender this meat is. It just falls apart. A bit of horseradish. It works so well. You've got this beautiful gravy, that sweetness, the tang, and then the meat is so tender. So little work for so much flavour, and this is great party food. You can do it earlier in the day and reheat it. It's a brilliant dish to do for gatherings, but what a joy.